Welcome back to the Reality Guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co-host, Brian.
All right, buddy.
And Waleed.
What's up, boys?
As you can see in the title, here to talk one of our favorites. This is The Amazing Race. We are on season 34, episode 11. This one is entitled, How Am I Going to Survive This? A little bit of a reference to later on for the final challenge of the leg. This leg brought us to Iceland. I like the episode a lot. I really always tend to like a lot of the later episodes, but this one particularly because there's a sense of urgency, right? Like I for once felt like this season they were actually racing. The driving decisions, they were questioning, do we follow people? Do we go on our own? There was how quick do we stick to people? You saw people bunched up together in the challenges, which I love to see because it adds stakes. I feel like this season, a lot of them have been so spread out and it just kind of took the drama away. And then if you were in last, you basically kind of knew who was going to be last, which changed this week, which again, big improvement. Before we go through the whole rundown, Brian, then Waleed, just your overall thoughts on the leg.
Yeah, I really liked it. It was the challenges I thought were really cool. They kind of have like, it seems like one every season where they're like having that race down like a river. They did that I don't remember where it was last season, but very similar to that. I enjoyed it. Like the memory, good challenges.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, anything I always say is like anything that like takes place in Iceland is always so cool to me. I remember even one year, one of my favorite shows, The Challenge, which we also cover. One season they had the final, leg in Iceland actually, and that was actually famously the final where CT broke down right before the end. So like it's just so grueling, and it's physically grueling on the contestants, and you saw it in this episode as well. Just the cold. People don't do well in cold. Yeah. Ever. Like you saw it again.
So this episode of the Reality Guys is brought to you by Expedia and all of your Expedia points. If you get 20 billion Expedia points, that adds up to a subscription, and then you can get a free copy of Mario Party as well if you then send in your 10 box tops. So just everyone let you know, this is a paid ad. Until Logan gives us that cash money, prize money. Anyway, so Iceland, 1/3 of the lava flow in the planet the last 500 years took place in Iceland. That's a pretty interesting fact. I did kind of make the tease here, guys. Expedia and Expedia points all over the place. This was literally an Expedia themed Iceland episode.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, it sucks that the prize is London, but it's you take what you can get, I guess.
I know. I was expecting him to say something else, and when he said London, I was like, "Oh, okay."
They're like, we could do that normally. Like, send us back here. Actually, it's very exotic and cool. Yeah. Like, let's come back here. The helicopters. They each get a helicopter to deliver the final 4 teams to the starting point of this leg. I did one comment that I thought was funny. Emily and Molly, I don't believe that your 10 legs on the Amazing Race equal 36 years of you guys being not together. I get what you're trying to say. Come on now. Maybe if you had more Expedia points. First route info. We've got some facts. This was the Sol Hey Mool Hey Cool. That's pretty good. I did pretty good on that one. Ice climb. 10% of the entire country covered in glaciers. But thankfully, thanks to the glaciers and the ice climbing, we have our Mario Party reference of the episode. Let's go. Everybody knows about Cliffhanger, the famous 2v2 Mario Party mini game where you have to climb up with your partner. You're attached by the rope. When you see that snow coming in, you better hold on. If not, wah!
Yeah.
So that's a very easy one. That one, I didn't even have to look that one up. I knew the name. I wrote it right in my notes as we were going. I'm like, oh, let's go.
No, I was also thinking for like when they're in the water, the deep sea divers.
Oh yeah, deep sea dive. Wow, 2 good ones. This
just
one,
like
Brian.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, I don't know. Just like there's a lot of them this episode. That was good. I didn't even think of the one you said, Bill, but that one's really good as well.
Way to go, Iceland. Way to be Mario Party friendly. Basically, like you said, you had to climb up. You had to get the Icelandic flag. And that's where basically that whole challenge was. They did separate the groups. They separated the groups by 15 minutes, group 1 and group 2. really, really rewarding you for doing well throughout these legs here. I want to talk about Emily's bad knee throughout. How is she still walking?
It's a fake leg.
No, I honestly, I feel like, you know what? I feel like she's gotten used to the pain and she's kind of like adapted. So usually that happens with physical pain. If it like lingers, your body just adapts and gets used to it, and you're able to like push through it a lot easier than you did at first. So I feel like, she's got that warrior mentality now.
Phil better be paying those medical bills after this.
You better be
You
taking her
better.
to urgent care.
At least the first one. At least the first visit.
That brought you to route info. This one was a little bit tougher for me to pronounce, guys. This is the Flutjistrogarafos. It's a lot. It's
Yeah,
like
I'm just
gonna call them all Jormungandr from now on. Like we're talking like the Giants in God of War. A lot of people having the driving issues. This is where I talked about the navigation. David and Aubrey were having trouble pulling in the first gear. A lot of people had a little bit of initial trepidation with getting the cars moving, but they did. Luis turns around, which causes David to turn around and follow them. But then Derek and Claire pass them, and then they turn back around and follow Derek and Claire. So Derek and Claire, for just literally staying and driving, went from third to first. And that turned out to be a really big shift. The driving stuff cracks me up. The maps, we were going to keep coming back to it, but like Aubrey, this was kind of the beginning of the end for Aubrey, right? The cracks started to show in the car. She started to have the panic attacks. She made him turn around, then has him turn around again, starts kind of hyperventilating, and it was kind of a sign of things to come, right, boys?
Yeah, and they even like included like, he's been doing the navigation lately. I'm gonna try to redeem myself. Okay.
Yeah, just just let him stick to that. Like,
if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Yeah,
like all you had to do in this final leg was just not come in last, and you weren't in last to start. So you just basically had to ride the coattails of everybody else and just not do anything stupid, or maybe not know how to memorize things, which we'll get to. The roadblock was who's feeling misty-eyed. Like Brian mentioned, this was where you had to rappel 100 foot into the cave, grab the clue. But that was really cool. You had to like navigate through the cave, go down some rivers, jump down some falls. I was like, this is a cool one. Like I was genuinely thought, I was like, I would wish I was doing this.
Yeah, it looked awesome.
Yeah, it was like Uncharted type stuff. It was really cool.
It was
not
Uncharted.
Not a Mario Party reference, but a video game reference. If anyone Uncharted.
I had like Uncharted, Indiana Jones, and / like The Hobbit when they take the barrels down the river and they keep going down the falls and stuff. So that one I kind of popped in my head too. It was David struggles. What else is new? David struggles in the cave, has problems getting out of the cave, and Molly actually catches up to him in the cave. Like they end that challenge pretty much neck and neck, which I wasn't there. You don't get a great view, but how did he just baffle? How did he do that bad?
He just said he couldn't swim. I mean, I guess it just was in his head the entire time. Who knows how long he was clutching that wall?
We'll get you. Listen, swimming's important. It's like we talk about in the challenge, we talk about in Survivor. It's a great equalizer. If you neglect that, just like in the Amazing Race, like not being able to drive stick shift, not being able to read the maps, like not being able to swim well, even not being able to swim, but swim well. Like you need to be able to swim well in these things.
Yeah, but even sure. Yeah, but it's a different kind of cold water though.
It's
gotta be. Like, it is. It's literally like needles, and
that's what I was going to get to with the next part here, which the next part was at the Silfra Fissure Snorkel. So you had to dive between the tectonic plates in the freezing cold water, swim along this path. And as you were swimming along the path, there was a crap ton of volcano names and the year that they erupted. And you had to memorize all of them, get to the very end, and then do a kind of challenge style board where you had to match the dates up to the names. What was really interesting was there was literally 3 different strategies that I saw that were brought out. There was the Claire one, which was pretty straightforward. Let's just do every other one, aka if I'm Claire, I just memorize all of them and just get it all in one shot. Odd and even, every other, and also then the one that I thought was really even the odd number one's dumb.
Yeah.
Like you memorize the even number ones, I memorize the odd. Like, how do you know that you're gonna have any even split there?
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Also, the noticing that, and this was where Molly and Emily made a big move in their kind of swimming, is they were the only ones to notice that as you went along, it went down in descending order from year. So in reality, and then when you looked at the board, it did the same thing. You didn't have to memorize the years. You just had to memorize the order that you saw them, because it ended up matching, because it went from top to bottom with the years too. So if you happen to get that out of your brain pretty quickly, if you had noticed it like they did, you don't have to memorize the number. And I really do think that makes a big difference, the name and the number. If you just have to do your 6 names in order, you could probably do that.
Yeah. I mean, the cold is definitely like affecting your thinking, but I agree.
I was honestly impressed by how the teams did. Everyone except for Aubrey and David, who
Yeah.
literally got more than half of them wrong every time.
Yeah.
The problem with that, I think they were like mentally, before even heading into it, mentally they were not in the right place as it was. But this just completely demoralized them and made them hit rock bottom. You could just tell. So if you're going into it mentally
frazzled,
place,
yeah,
then you're gonna fare off a lot better.
No, I agree. Aubrey was already freaking out in the car, right? They have the first time that doesn't go correctly. They go for the second swim and panic attack ensues, right?
Yeah, I was worried Molly and Emily weren't gonna pass them, but when I saw they only got like 2 wrong, and I was like, oh, they'll go back and get this right away. They're both really smart. So
yeah.
Honestly, kudos to Molly and Emily. So obviously Derek and Claire, team number 1. They win Expedia points for a 5-night stay in London, like we've teased. They get to do a great baking show, British Bake Off. Apparently, they're going to Stonehenge, private tour of the National Gallery, blah, blah, blah. 5 days isn't long enough. They're so slick in this show. They know you're going to book more nights. They're so slick. So, yeah, Derek and Claire, Brian's team, still alive, second place. And obviously, Emily, Molly in third place. Aubrey and David, you are the weakest link. Goodbye. We're at the finale, boys. Final 3. I'm assuming we probably have a 2-part leg here. I guess a 2-week leg. They didn't announce finale on the preview, so I do not believe we have the finale next week. So you will have 2 more episodes of coverage from us here on the channel. Bri, your prediction's looking pretty strong, but Claire is like a genius, apparently. She just lines up on these challenges perfectly every time.
Yeah, we'll see. Can I say something else about Aubrey and David?
Yeah.
I know they had a 2-hour. Why do you gotta make them wait 2 hours to go check in?
It was
I mean, it's just like they're already like in the lowest of lows, and like, yeah, just like as soon as like what's the twins went in and checked in, be like, bring them in. Like, we don't need to wait 2 hours. Like,
feels heartless sometimes, man.
I thought it would be like dark and like nighttime by then.
Yeah, well, I think isn't
they like, wait 2 hours? I don't think they actually made them wait 2 hours.
Isn't the like sun out like longer, and isn't there more light sometimes there?
Yeah,
there's like
it doesn't go down, right? Like there is.
Yeah, there's sometimes like there's like 3 months out of the year where like the sun doesn't go down, where like it's nothing but nighttime. So like where if it is up, it's only up for like a few hours. So it seemed like it was already setting even before they had the 2-hour penalty. So when they arrived there, I was like, how's it still light out?
Hopefully they didn't make them wait. That's what I.
Yeah, I don't.
That's what I'm getting. I don't want them to wait.
I don't think they did, but we'll see.
Well, look, a great penultimate leg, and it really hopefully gives us high hopes for the finale. I hope it's very competitive. I hope that all teams are together and maybe a few wild cards in there that we don't see coming. Make sure you're liking, subscribing. You can check all of our Wednesday night coverage. We also covered in the video that dropped right before this one was the Love Boat. We also cover everything from The Bachelor, Survivor, The Challenge. We started Below Deck, has been really good so far for our first week premiere. Love and Hip Hop Family Reunion, all the MTV shows, all the Netflix shows. So yeah, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and comment. We have a really cool community and people getting to know each other, which has been really fun. But for myself, Brian, Waleed, thank you. Peace.